thanks a lot that we got the opportunity to have this interview with you today. So would you please start with a short introduction, telling who you are, what your area of expertise is, and why you are in Ilmenau today?
Well, first, I'm an old gentleman, and I'm a philosopher by trade, and I went through various phases of East European history and politics. I was a dissident in the 1970s and 1980s, both in Romania and in Hungary, because I'm a Transylvanian Hungarian, Siebenbürger, and I moved to Hungary in 1978. So, and after being fired repeatedly, my first job in the 80s was being elected to the Hungarian parliament. Before that, I was unemployed. And then I stayed in parliament. I couldn't stick it. I stayed in parliament for 4 years, and then I departed from official bourgeois politics. And I was sort of an academic leader, and I taught in various universities, also abroad, in America and England especially, but also in Germany. I was in a research institution in Berlin, and so on. So, and I write a great deal, and you know, I'm one of those people who are called a public intellectual. It's a terrible term, but that's what I seem to be, and I'm a man of the left, most certainly, and with a few detours in my life, but that's not worth explaining.
Okay. So you are here because you hold a speech during the ISWI, the International Students Week. And what do you think about the idea of an International Students Week, and can events like this help to prevent prejudices, and if so, how?
Well, I can only hope that such events as the International Student Week will stop being prejudiced. Although, of course, I don't believe that it can be done in this way or in any other way, apart from changing society at its foundations, because people don't believe in prejudices because they're stupid. They believe prejudices because they cannot find anything better. And the fact that they cannot find anything better is the fault of our society, of the intelligentsia, of the political forces, and so on and so forth. So actually conciliation and dialogue and common work usually works with people who are already willing to relinquish prejudice and not to be hostile to other human groups. And but they should know each other, so these things are useful. But if you introduced here a real fascist, that won't work so well. You know, I don't think
I thought so too.
I don't think it would. Although that would be a great result. You know, if you could convert the baddies to become the goodies, and that's not so easy. That's not so easy. That really needs more fundamental change. Yeah.
So why is it important to talk about the rise of populism? Like, even during events like the International Students Week in Ilmenau, as you just said, probably here aren't that many populists, at least we hope, because we like open our doors for international students worldwide. Why is it still important, though?
Well, actually, I don't like the term populism. I was given this prefabricated title. And but yes, we are witnessing a breakthrough of the extreme right. Well, that's what's happening, not anything else. and obviously, the university milieu is where it is the smallest challenge and provocation, because it's the university campuses where, indeed, the left still has some bases, although weakening. Although even there, it's weakening, but still, especially in Western Europe and in North America, and I think that as long as the state will tolerate toleration, as long as they will be humane enough not to ban humanism, it's very useful to have such encounters and to to train ourselves in toleration and in curiosity, in knowing each other, and in discovering that the deep and abiding shit in which we are is basically the same everywhere. I listened to the questions in this afternoon from people, you know, I come from Hungary, they came from Gambia, Gabon, Moldavia, Indonesia, the Philippines. Same thing is happening everywhere. Same thing, namely that the powerful are trying to convince the non-powerful that the interest is to support the powerful, because a mysterious enemy like in a bad dream is out there, and which is even worse than your own well-known oppressors and exploiters and domestic foes. And this has been lasting in the last 3 millennia, and it's there on every continent, and we call it the rise of populism. It's just the rise of the human condition. You know, it's something that we always had. The difference is whether people were indeed willing to fight it or not. Racism was always there. Contempt for the downtrodden was always there. Hatred of women was always there. Love of violence was always there. They are not new phenomena. There were still, you know, some risings against it, you know, Christianity, French Revolution, socialism, various kinds. And I think that it's high time that this generation invents its own humanistic indignation and rising against the non-human stirrings in human society that are causing so much suffering.
Yeah, thank you. So, after everything that happened in history, how is it even possible that populism, or white politicians, as you would say in this context, seems to still have a chance to rise up so quickly, especially in European countries, in Germany, for example?
Well, you know, the question of proportions, you know, the rise of the extreme right in Germany compared to the rise of extreme right in Hungary, where I live, it's a joke. But of course it isn't if you compare it to, you know, the pre-89 welfare state in West Germany, because you can't, you know, properly compare. Yeah. And how is it possible? You know, that has a very concrete reason. That also explains why contemporary fascism is not so violent, and also why it's so victorious. Both phenomena are caused by the absence of a true and strong workers' movement. Why was Hitler so violent? Because his enemies were strong. Because the Social Democratic and the Communist parties together were stronger than him. And so he had to be violent and also, of course, cunning. Contemporary fascists don't face up such formidable enemies. We are too weak to be killed. That's all. This is why it's peaceful. There's no need for a great violence. When it goes peacefully, why should they kill people when they obey anyway? Well, it's easy. So the phenomenon is very similar, though. Now it can go on with the democratic decor and people's seemingly voluntary obedience. But the essence is the same. The essence is celebrating and implementing inequality, and celebrating the culture of inequality under the guise of identity, under the guise of culture, under the guise of this and that. The race is called culture now. Okay, don't believe them. Don't believe them. They're lying.
Thank you. So, in this context, I want to question you if we really have a growing in populism, or if populists are just really good in speaking loud, being loud, getting attention, especially through new media, through media who are talking about them. And if they're really getting all this attention, why are people listening to them?
Well, again, I don't believe in populists, but not every loud person and not every demagogue is a populist. Populist, that was a word that had a sense, you know, some enmity towards traditional elites, but that doesn't have anything to do with this. Anyway, so the people you refer to, you know, the Trumps and the Salvinis and the Orbans as well, well, they enjoy some modicum of sympathy from a scared and disorientated public that has no political ideology that it might help it in these difficult times. It has the support of the ruling class and of money and a great part of the civil service, of bureaucracy. And mostly they are supported by the disenchantment and the unquiet conscience and the malaise and the alienation of most people. It is a very unhappy age, and they offer some consolation. You are better than the niggers. You are excellent. You are blonde. You are blue-eyed. That means you are superior to me. You know, I'm brown-haired. Well, I used to be brown-haired. I'm brown-eyed, you know. So, of course, I must be some sort of Mediterranean southern Mischling. And, you know, this kind of thing. You would have thought that it won't work again. But it does work because it offers a consolation. It offers a consolation that you are a superior person who are treated by mysterious forces as if you weren't superior. I worked all my life and I have a small pension, and here are these Syrians coming to our country and getting everything they want while I cannot feed my dog. You know, this is how it goes. Of course I'm joking, but I'm not joking at the same time, because this is how it goes. And this is how it went always. The consolation is in the comparison. And these people are making these invidious comparisons and are winning votes. The question is, when will we stand up and fight them? That's the thing.
So what needs to happen now? So populism, I know you don't like that term.
No, the extreme right, yeah.
Right politicians can be stopped.
Well, it needs, you know, like always, the right theory and the right praxis. And, you know, it means that political forms will have to be invented after the demise of the Democratic Mass Party. That's obviously in a terminal crisis. That's going to the dogs, that's obvious. Even conservative parties, not to speak of Social Democrats and others who are just about to die out and so on. And so something else should be invented, and there's indeed many possibilities. And also, and that is indeed the task of university people such as ourselves, to restart a high-quality theoretical debate that is of political relevance and that realizes there's no time to be lost. The climate crisis and other things are so serious that we cannot wait too long. Because, you know, reorganizing, you know, civil society and inventing more apposite, more fit organization, more fit to the situation, that should be normally a long work, long, patient work. No time, no time, no time. So what is pushing us, certainly myself, a more radical direction, is this feeling that I don't have time. Well, I personally don't have much time because I'm old, but still I would like to spend the next, say, 10, if I'm optimistic, 10, 15 years in at least a morally bearable society that at least tries to resist, even if it doesn't win. And that's the minimum. And that's what we should do, and that's where we should be, without illusions and be in a hurry.
Yeah. Last question, but for sure not the least. So European elections started today, so what are your wishes for the future of Europe?
Well, I wish it survived. And I think that the European Union, in spite of its thousands of serious crimes and mistakes and failings, is still better than the alternative these post-fascist and neo-fascist forces are proposing. So it would be nice. But the kind of people that will be elected are simply not up to the task. That would be very difficult. Not up to the task in personal qualifications. Have you heard of a very seductive, irresistible politician? No, I haven't, nor have you, because nobody has. And and in a party that will make you dream about it, so that if I don't enter the the British Liberal Democrats, then I can't fall asleep. Tomorrow I'll go and join it, and that's ridiculous. There's no passion, no excellent people, and so on. And also there will be even more reactionary people in the European Parliament. That is not so strong as an institution, but still. So probably this muddling through will go on, and muddling through means fortwursteln. So I don't hope much. But with some luck, we won't be killed in our beds by the new fascists, because they won't be that strong. Also, they don't need that, because they're taking over and earning billions of euros without any great effort. And so the situation is very, very grievous. And also, even I, who am really quite a politically passionate person, I cannot find in myself the enthusiasm. But even if I vote for the lesser evil, let's do it again. No, I mean everybody, including myself, we're all totally tired of all this nonsense. And on this basis, saving Europe doesn't look very good, does it?
I hope that saving Europe is somehow working out. It's my future to live in Europe. So that was the last question. Thanks a lot for this interview. It was really interesting to meet you. So thank you. That's it.